opening novelties, you know, ducking, diving, being crafty, and just power play in general.
FIDE World Championship match goes to tiebreaks, this is what's going to happen. It will take place in two stages, rapid playoffs and blitz playoffs. In the rapid playoffs, players will start with 4 games of 15 plus 10. If this is still tied, they will play 2 games of 10 plus 5. And if this is still tied, then they will go to blitz playoffs. In the blitz playoffs, they will start with 2 games of 3 plus 2. If this is still drawn, then they will play another game with 3 plus 2. And if this is still drawn, they will reverse colors and keep playing games of 3 plus 2 until a victor is decided.
Yes, if everything is drawn, then it will be decided by what is probably termed sudden death, right?
Keep going, actually forever, potentially, until there's a winner.
Yeah, so, you know, buckle up, folks. We could be in for the long haul. But for now, let's focus on this game because Ding Liren once again has been surprised out of the opening and is just thinking how best to handle this particular move from Gukesh.
Yeah, Ding has a variety of options. I think it's about how to break in the center. It's not whether to break in the center. I think maybe the main dilemma going through his mind right now is how to dodge Gukesh's opening preparation. Often these long thinks do result in some very good moves from Ding, but moves that at least are designed to get Gukesh out of what he expected. But c4, the most logical move. Trying to break down the center, trying to open up White's bishop, met quickly by a knight exchange on d4. White queen comes out, the queen will be duly hit by the black knight with gain of time. And here is where there is a crossroads, Subanka. Do we step back on this diagonal? Do we step back to d3, offer up a pawn, or do we go back to d1?
Yeah, well, it requires a lot of guts to offer up a pawn, even if you get some gain in development, especially because so much is on the line. Yeah, I don't think I would do it. I think I would probably just go queen d1 and go, except that I lost time.
I agree. I think I would not be brave enough to play the move queen d3. Actually, the more I look at it, though.
Okay, let's go. Let's go look at it and see.
If this were blitz, if this were a tiebreak.
Exactly. If this were another life, queen to d3, okay, knight to e5.
Yeah, the plus point behind queen d3 is, firstly, you just defend your pawn. Secondly, it's a much more active square. You're ready to play rook d1 if black doesn't do anything special. So I think if given the choice, this is the ideal square. The only downside being knight e5. How about queen to c3?
I'm going to grab your pawn.
It's pawn, and because your knight is slightly clumsily anchored, I'm going to play e4 to try and undermine it. And now I do have this tension on the diagonal.
I'll go knight b6.
Knight b6. And now I've run out of ideas. But
still, it's not going to be easy for black to actually unwind the king side and start to develop. Okay, so
d1 maybe?
To d1, yeah. And now, what is the move? Queen. Always when in doubt, you go queen.
Queen f6.
No, but queen f6 ruins the pawn structure.
It does. I mean, I guess
you get the bishop pair, but
I guess I take something like this,
knight
right?
takes pawn, yeah. Then.
I mean, white is risking nothing, but maybe black's okay somehow. Maybe you play like bishop e6 or bishop g4, bishop e6 maybe. And if white takes, you laugh and you castle.
That would be very mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've discovered it. This is Gukesh's prep. Guaranteed. I mean, half joking. Knight e5. Yeah, it is a bit scary to kind of play down this line I don't think white's risking that much though.
That's true.
It's like you always win back the pawn at least on d5. Whether you get an advantage is a whole different matter, but
Yeah.
I mean, there are other moves as well. Even here, like bishop e3, just to try and get rid of this knight, to try and break open this bishop. Looks quite tempting.
Yeah, I guess you would have to go bishop d7,
Yeah.
and then try to, or unless you want to embrace the complications and go bishop to e7. But I don't want to lose the.
After bishop e3, that makes more sense because now if I take on g7,
Then I'm hitting b2.
yeah, I think this guy. Okay, it's not over here, but yeah, a position like this would be one that Ding has to evaluate.
And I just wanted to point out one other thing with bishop to e. Sorry, I'm like eager to go, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. No, with bishop to e7,
sorry,
bishop e3.
Oh, bishop e3. This one.
Yeah.
Bishop e3, bishop to e7.
So say, for instance, you go bishop takes knight, pawn takes.
Yeah, the queen is needed to support bishop to f6. So pawn takes.
And even if white were to go e takes d5, you're not necessarily obliged to capture that pawn. You could just focus on quick development and go castles. Let white capture on e6.
Yeah.
And just.
Even if it comes at the cost of this pawn.
Yeah.
Okay, white's lost a lot of time now. Bishop f6 is going to come. These two bishops are going to provide more than enough compensation. Probably you can even just regain the pawn. Next move. Most likely this would fizzle out towards a draw. I hear gasps out there at the prospect of tie breaks, but yeah, Ding, it is hard to enter that type of forcing line where it becomes very much move by move, pure calculation. Because you know you're playing an engine, essentially, there. You know that Gukesh has studied that with his seconds, with all the best material out there. So, yeah, queen to d1 may be another option. I think the other's less attractive. Other squares, the queen just gets hit. Either by a pawn or the black dart square bishop.
Oh, wow. Okay, I just turned on Seti for the first time. Their top choice, queen f4.
Queen f4.
Second choice, queen d3. And after queen d3, it says don't even go for the pawn.
Wow.
Just step forward with the pawn to d4.
Okay, if that's the case, then I think Ding would love to play queen d3. If he knows it's not being met by knight to e5. I guess white plays e3.
After d4, it's okay. E3. Let me just put it on there because
that means
no. Bishop c5.
Bishop to c5. Yeah. This is actually very reminiscent of the position with colors reversed. One side basically banks on the d4 square either for a pawn or an outpost for a piece. Of course, white's not worse, but still a long way to go to be better.
But yeah, there's not. It's relatively solid, I would say, because after he drops the queen back to d1. Queen is out of harm's way.
Zero risk involved. Has the benefit of not being the computer's top move, we think. So has Gukesh looked at this one? You mentioned queen to f4 as well, possible, but okay, Gukesh clearly has looked at this one, which was available by transposition.
Yep.
He did it the longer way around, so closer to move 40. And d4 instantly.
Yes. Okay. So white has it, and this is what I'm expecting for Ding. No tension whatsoever. Just a challenge on d4. And so here, Gukesh.
Check.
Computers is just basically you've got to go bishop c5. You can go e5, but you've got to be brave if you want to go e5 and willingly invite your king to an open center.
Yeah, e5 after pawn takes. I think you pretty much obliged now to take with the pawn. If you take with the knight, which looks like a nice outpost, rook e1, and this pawn is just hanging.
Yeah.
So yeah, pawn takes pawn, and like you said, you're inviting some checks. This is pretty much just an exact Grunfeld. White having an extra tempo though. I can block.
Yeah. Black is one move away from castling, but still.
Check.
It feels
Check.
scary.
White's very dynamic here.
Bishop comes.
I'm never sure whether we click in a3 and a5.
Check.
Could you
Check.
Check.
Ooh, bishop e5.
Check.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go. I mean, maybe you can even go castles.
Check.
Get away with things that way.
Check.
Yeah. Black's knight just about defends
Check,
the bishop.
check.
Remove the knight, then the black bishop moves as well. I wonder, even in positions like this, Ivanka, sometimes you can make an argument for giving up the knight, the bishop for the knight. if you get enough dynamic play. Here, actually, I don't think it works, but you can consider it. Now, move all the way to Blackcurrant Castle.
even if black were to say castles as a response, you can, on occasion, actually give up the exchange if you can allow bishop h6.
Castles. Bishop h6. There's also ideas of maybe queen takes b2 defending.
Yeah, there is that one as well. Very nice geometry. But I just thought as a backup, there would be like g6.
Yeah. That's the position.
Yeah.
Black has the bishop pair, f5 might come, e5 might come.
Yeah, and black is very mobile with their pieces.
I'm just grateful, Jovanka. This is a fun position to analyze, especially after queen h5. And yeah, I mean, there's more than I actually expected. I thought Ding might play it slightly safer than this, or at least slightly more symmetrical than this.
Well, it could be really spicy after queen h5. So yeah, so I'm kind of curious. After queen to b6, after the sacrifice, d takes. Okay, so literally the computer has no fear.
What takes pawn?
Yep.
Knight e4.
And then yeah, it literally gets take it all.
7.
And now bishop e7, and now it's actually suggesting c5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking the queen back.
And then rook takes f2. And wait for this. It's a little bit unnatural.
It'll be a draw.
No, castles.
Castles.
Because you have to defend against queen takes f7 check. And then this is the weird move. Like I would naturally be looking at bishop to g5 and knight coming to g5, but the engine is like g4.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's designed to fight f6 as a plan.
Because then you brute force it.
Yes.
Battering ram, g1.
Well, what are the chances that you're going to find
Ding playing this?
g4?
Colors reversed. I could see Gukesh going for this, maybe.
Yeah.
If he's well prepared. But Ding sacrificing a pawn and then playing moves like g4. Really murky stuff. Doubt it somehow. I really doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know how committal it is either, so I'm just so attracted to this move, queen h5, now that we've been looking. He might play it, but queen b6, I guess you could also just take this pawn if you don't want to sacrifice anything. Just kind of pre-move knight c3 next.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming bishop takes, because if knight takes, knight c3 does come with a gain of tempo because of the massive threat.
Yes.
Fork. But bishop takes, knight out to c3. Black does get castled. I guess Ding will be evaluating a position such as this one. And yeah, still early days, still anything can happen. But yeah. Gukesh, most likely out of his preparation, considering how much time he spent on the last move.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe he knows the preparation and he knows that he can get a bit treacherous at times. So he's just doing like a risk assessment. Will Ding play the most aggressive move?
Will it get as spicy as that Lux I had last night? Yeah, queen h5. That would be a fun move to see.
Yeah, queen h5. So, knowing Ding, what do you think? Do you play the most aggressive move?
Knowing Ding, I think he's definitely considering it, but his instincts have warned him against such an early aggression, at least in this match so far. His 2 wins, Ding, have been from longer games where he's slowly, steadily outplayed Gukesh rather than gone straight for the throat. I guess he could also just take pawns and play it slower.
Yeah, he could also play a3, flick in a5. Are you going to play a5? You might not.
We've seen, that's a dilemma we've had so many times this match, Jovanka, in all of these reversed Benoni's, especially when there's a white pawn on c4, a black pawn on d4.
Yeah. Well, it is a great position that we have in front of us. And we are going to take a short break because when we come back, well, we are honored to have in the studio with us FIDE President Arkady Dvorkovich.
This is the Google Pixel 9 with Gemini. And this is Dan, suggesting some places to meet up and watch the game tonight. But you know what's better than a list of places? Knowing how close those places are, which is why you're just going to ask Gemini to put these places on a map. Whoa, how's that for teamwork? Why can't you school? Just let me cool.
94.
So 94
Yeah.
and bishop g5.
Ooh, 94 बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं आया बात.
9 e2 check, king h1. Okay.
Okay, if Ding plays queen h5, I'll be like.
नहीं होने
Super
वाला.
shocked.
Yeah, queen h5 is just a random move.
Yeah.
But it's maybe not so random. Simply like if black was to fall back with the bishop, then I think the move makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You can continue with rook d1 and ask big
Correct.
questions to this pawn.
You know, this queen h5 move reminds me of Naka used to play e4, e5, queen h5, right?
It's called some. It's some name. वो तो scholar है एकदम. But Tanya, queen h5, can we not go queen b6? Is that pointless or like I like so putting pressure on the f2?
What's the difference like in यहाँ पे?
I just putting more pressure on f2 point. If you take pawn takes pawn, I take back with the bishop, and now
Who's attack
b-
f2?
So I like the queen more there on b6 than e7.
That's
It's
a very
more
nice
active.
point. Yeah, I think queen e7 is very possible, but queen b6 a more active defense for
Yeah.
black in this position. So queen h5 was a bit of a random move. अगर हो गया तो shocking ही हो जाएगा.
What else are
Check.
right? How many over here?
FIDE rating.
ज़्यादा बोल
हाँ.
रहे हो ना सब.
No, we have a title player also, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, we have two IMs here in the house. Actually, one IM and one person who could have been IM but doesn't want the title. He has like 12 IM norms or something. So Rakesh Bhai is of course here, and we have Vedant Panesar, who is a very strong player, 2470 if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
So-
has like 13 IM norms.
13.
So why didn't you take
Yeah.
the title?
You know,
That's
Vladimir
so-
Kramnik became a GM from no title. So maybe
Kasparov, right?
even Ding Liren. Wow.
He didn't want the title. He said Sida GM.
अच्छा हाँ तो वेदांत भाई why no IM title?
The reason was very personal actually.
तो थोड़ा इधर हो सकता है बता सकते हो सिर्फ there are only
Personal,
सब personal, सब चीज लीक
58,000 people ही है और यहाँ पे
किसी को नहीं बताएंगे.
हाँ, so I was taking a lot of stress IM बनने के लिए. I missed my IM norm like maybe 9 times in the last round. So one day my friend casually suggested me कि छोड़ भाई क्या कर रहे हैं मर रहे थे. And then I did not take it. And then after that I made 8 IM norms in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
I mean, 9 times you missed it and 13 IM norms you got.
Yes, yes. I
Wow.
got 13 IM norms. So I
So basically you got so detached from IM title कि लेना ही नहीं है
नहीं नहीं नहीं
और GM के लिए
GM के लिए ले लूँगा.
ले लोगे
Did you also have a GM now?
No, I don't have a GM.
Are you working towards it?
Yes, I'm working.
Oh, nice. All the best for it.
Yes.
It's so cool, यार. 13 norms and it's more like Gabbar Singh बोलता था ना कितने norms थे. You know that वाला भी.
हाँ, यही बोला था उस
This
movie
can be
में,
kind
मेरे को याद
of
है.
put in the context of the World Championship also. जो बंदा कह रहा है this is just a game, इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, is the one who will handle his nerves better.
I think so. Yeah, I think as Vedant rightly showed, the moment he left his sort of attachment to the title, it all started coming. So, dosto, you also can think about what are you attached in life, and
अरे.
If you want something,
It's a different kind of shows आ गए.
अरे पूछ रहा हूँ भाई, तो उसको आप ऐसे सोच लो कि अब नहीं चाहिए. Who knows? It'll start coming.
But you know, to that point, I think.
तुम्हारे लाइफ में क्या ऐसा था?
रुकना मैं.
ओलंपियाड गोल्ड आ गया लेकिन.
So I was saying that, you know, I think that's such a great point because Arjun always said, you know, he wasn't thinking about the numbers, the rating, he got to 2800. Since Hikaru took to streaming and the pressure of being at the very top went away, we've seen him play the best chess of his life, consecutively be on the world number 2, world number 3 spot. So there's something to that. When you let go a little bit is when perhaps you achieve it because the joy
This is a
comes
different
back.
kind of show.
Sorry. Also, to finish that off, I really want to encourage you to go for your Grandmaster norm because if your rating is 2730, I will say that the
No,
rating
2730 नहीं भाई.
Oh, 2470.
हाँ.
2730 कहाँ से आ गया?
वही वो तो डिंग का है.
So if your rating is, मतलब if your rating is 2730 तो क्या ही कर रहे हो आप यहाँ पे? But 2470, I think rating is.
तो भी क्या ही कर रहे हो आप इधर? हाँ, sorry. Continue.
I was saying that rating is a very hard part of achieving titles, getting to 2500. So you're so close to it, so work towards it.
Thank you so much.
Big round of applause to Vedant. Seriously, very strong player.
and very dangerous attacker. So if you play against him here, play positional chess.
And we also have Raghunandan Gokhale.
Oh, we have here the Dronacharya awardee, Raghunandan Gokhale ji. And also one of the very, very big stalwarts of Indian chess, Mr. Dongre ji is here, who has been part of Indian chess.
Thank you very much.
Both of them have been at the helm of Indian chess for years and years. So, sir, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. We are enjoying. We were enjoying from TV. Now we are enjoying personally here.
Yeah, it's such
Thank
an
you very
honor
much.
that you both are here. Thank you.
The Amrita courtside seats.
Nice program, and we are going to witness a bitter fight here now.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. So,
Yeah, it's going to be a fight today. Tomorrow, it's, you can run, but you can't hide. World Championship to decide होएगी ही. Max it can go to is tomorrow.
Correct.
बन चुका है. अब बस
बहुत
एक
बड़ा।
चीज की कमी है बस. क्या है वो चीज आगर भाई?
क्या है?
रिजल्ट.
अच्छा हाँ. मैं सोच रहा था भाई बहुत सारी चीज आई ऐसे माइंड में क्या कमी है बट
बाल कम है.
बाल कम है भाई.
बाल कम है?
हाँ बाल कम है बोला उसने. What a brutal statement by
That literally came out of nowhere.
that popped out of nowhere, yeah, like pop UPI. तो अरे बढ़िया भाई डायरेक्टर साहब ने भी नीचे पॉप यूपीआई गाइस डू चेक इट आउट यू गेट पॉप कॉइंस एवरी टाइम समवन uses it. Amrita, you didn't get any pop coins for this wonderful joke you cracked. But this is actually put Ding in a huge thought right now. 13 minutes again.
Yeah, today I thought he will not get into this time difference, but he's just not worried about it. And like I and Tanya keep looking at his expressions, and we get this hope कि कुछ तो अभी mistake होने वाला है या किया है. But ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. We are now experienced.
Yesterday, in that moment, I don't know how many of you remember when he found the only move rook to f8 to stay alive in the game. If you saw him at that moment, it looked like he had just given up. There was nothing that could save because उन्होंने rook f8 spot नहीं किया था. In the press conference, he said it himself, Amrita, that I thought I was completely lost. It's game over. And then he found the only resource in the position. So his expressions are not, it's not a bluff. He actually feels the way he's showing. But then, of course, being the world champion, being one of the best, when it comes to finding the moves, he does it time and time again.
तो फिर से अभी decode करते हैं Ding के expression.
आज तो abnormally calm है वो.
नहीं भाई, he did this. Can we go full screen on Ding's expressions here? Thank you. And now if you will see, he will stare at Gukesh every
Why
few
is he
seconds.
looking at Gukesh every few seconds?
हाँ, every few seconds he does it.
और कोई है नहीं वहाँ पे देखने को Amrita.
And he's completely focused right now. Ding, I'm sure, is out of his prep now. So he's trying to get Queen H5 अगर वो खेलेगा तो it'll be interesting.
That's a statement कि भाई no queen trades. Let's play a long game.
Queen H5 काफी crazy move हो जाएगा. That means that Ding is ambitious. By the way, I want to ask you guys, this is Ding's final white, right? Final classical game में final white. And he said for game 12, Richard Rappo had sent him a file saying strike back. आज कौन सी फाइल नेम के साथ उन्होंने प्रेप भेजी होगी?
Draw कर ले भाई.
रैपिड में चले.
Okay, I have. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying, it could either be draw kar le bhai or strike again to push him to play with his final white, to make the most of it. And I think his next move will show us कि file का नाम क्या था. Will he decline a queen trade with a move like Queen H5, maybe ambitious, maybe something like A3, B4 to Amrita's idea? Or will we see a more liquidated center?
Also, right now that file I think does not have any moves written because he's thinking तो
But वो तो
he's
file
out of his prep.
रिचर्ड ने भेजा था, but न्यूआ ने क्या किया था पता है?
हाँ, actually न्यू हुआ के बारे में बहुत
उसने क्या बोला पता है डिंग को? कुछ नहीं हुआ. यार अच्छा जोक है यार.
भाई कई बार क्या होता है ना,
तालियां हो जाए.
कई शिवा, when you learn a new language, तो jokes instantly समझ नहीं आते.
हाँ
तो कहाँ सीख सकते हैं सागर भाई ताकि अच्छे से समझ आए?
एग्जैक्टली अमृता, तुमको थोड़ा एयर लर्न पे जाके कोई और लैंग्वेज में तुम जोक मार सकती हो so that
अरे अभी हिंदी और इंग्लिश में नहीं आ रहे ठीक से, तुम बोल रहे हो कोई और लैंग्वेज.
I'm so happy that there are around 100 people here, guys. She does this every time at home, and I don't laugh. And then she's like, "Your sense of humor is bad." Today, like 100 people didn't laugh,
No,
and I
we
was like,
laughed.
"Ah, you laughed."
We laughed. That was a really good one, नहीं हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ.
Thank you.
Wow, Tanya is such a good friend.
No, I actually think Amrita, you have a career in stand-up.
अरे क्या बात है, समय को बोलना है.
तो अगर कमेंट्री से तुम्हें नई ब्रेक लेना है या कुछ, you can consider it.
आज commentary से मतलब break नहीं ले रही है because आज lucky charm है हमारी वो.
हाँ, अमृता थोड़ा रेड बुल वगैरह पी लो, एनर्जी रहेगा तुमको थ्रू आउट. So
Okay, by the way, just उठने वाला था मुझे इसलिए.
Is that statistics of 32% still going on? Like,
What was the 32%
Closing his eyes.
Closing his eyes.
no, I don't think now Gukesh is closing his eyes so much. I have one question to all the people on the panel here, all three of you. Suppose, and very serious question, if you were in Gukesh's shoes today, would you really, and you guys would have played important games, of course not at this level that Gukesh is playing, but in our own capacity we have had this final rounds where if we draw, we get like a joint first or something, like here it's tie breaks, and if we win we get clear first place. What has been your approach before? Do you feel nervous or do you feel like, wow, आज का दिन तो कुछ तूफानी कर सकते हैं? How do you look at such games?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think it's what's at stake. And we can, I mean, this is a stage and this is a level where we can only look at them, learn from them, many factors, and it's hard to really understand the exact psyche of the players. But usually, if, for example, if I try to equate my career to somewhere where I felt the tension, let's say making a norm, making an international master norm, or let's say our games which have led to championships. I think if you need a clear win, it's clear, right? अगर जीतने में norm बन रहा है, you have to go all out. And let's say कि draw में you share first, but you need to win to get the norm. I think the norm is more
ऐसा कुछ
important.
नहीं है तानिया, draw पे joint first, win पे clear first, ऐसा है. Oh, by the way,
और tie break पे क्या? Tie break में कौन जीत रहा है?
That's the risk you don't know.
वो बाद में tie break नहीं है, ऐसे just you are joint first.
I think you play the position. You stay in the present. You know, it's a really good situation to be in because you're thinking कि भाई अगर draw भी हो गया, then also you're at the top. You want to just play the best moves on the board and not think about the result so much. I would go for a more controlled approach so that भाई हार ना जाओ and everything slips out of your hand.
So
That's been the usual
assessing
case.
the risk and taking it little easy. By the way, ED and Bishop D4, that Bishop is beautifully positioned, and as I think we were mentioning, the file का जो था Queen H5 तो नहीं हुआ, so basically this seems like a very stable position. That's a star there. Nice.
Yeah.
क्या बात है.
It's a star piece right now, pointing at all directions, and not so easy. That's not a star square. Not so easy for white to actually challenge this bishop.
Yeah.
Because bishop e3, firstly b2 is hanging, but also it would lead to a really bad structure whenever it's played.
Agreed.
It will take a few moves for white to do that.
But knight c3 should be okay because I don't think I'm worried about the doubled pawns there. Double bishop is just too strong.
I think black can just continue with short castle here. And next I want to push e5. Put my bishop on e6. Get my queen to d7. Put my rook on d8. Put my bishop on h3. Get my queen to h3.
Knight b5.
ठीक है, knight आएगा, क्या ही कर लोगे यहाँ से?
Knight
B5.
Okay, let's make a move. What's your move here?
Knight b5.
Directly? Yeah. Okay.
Bishop f6. नहीं?
But this knight d6 ideas, no?
अरे भाई एकदम.
So maybe not bishop f6. Can we continue with the plan of e5?
Oh, you want to give up the bishop
Bishop
pair?
then
No.
It might be a great
No,
move.
but we
Should
can
we
call
check
no
what
bishop
happens?
c6,
Yeah,
d6,
yeah.
knight d. No.
Let's see how the
I
bar
think
reacts.
it'll react okay because you will take on d4 with the
Okay,
knight.
not too bad.
Because when he takes now, one is better.
Right.
Small advantage.
Yeah, I thought that about that from the very beginning, and also seeing him in the football field was an exciting thing. I think I could see how confident he is. He's not like the best player in the world in football. Certainly not as quick and capable as Magnus, for instance, who is a really good football player. But he does it. He comes part of the team. He gets the ball, makes passes. So he has this kind of internal strengths, I would say. At this point, it was Budapest. I thought that he's okay.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
that big shot like some people were saying.
Yeah.
Even despite saying that in games he was not that strong in Budapest, but I could see that he is getting the strength.
Yeah, and he's had to draw on that resilience and that strength quite a bit, as we've seen him make some great defensive moves. What have been your overall impressions of the players? There we see a move, knight c3, as predicted by our very own Arkady. You should join it, definitely.
I thought that it's exactly the fight between the experience and young energy, and that's what most of the experts predicted. Some people thought that Dink is just not in good shape, but it's a kind of the fight that I would expect. Experience of Dink, his depth, and lots of energy from Gukish, and it's exciting to see such difference and different approaches, different kind of game. And because Gukish has deep openings preparation, but when the game goes to the middle, Dink, I think, has slightly better strategic understanding of the game, which is important.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's very on point. It has been a big fight between youth and experience here in Singapore. It's been an incredible match to watch.
And still going on.
And still going on. And, you know, do you think it's going to be decided today? I think David asked the question.
In our 100-year anniversary program, we have those mottos. One is the game is just beginning. So the game is just beginning. Another one is another century for chess. Let's see another.
Yeah, let's see another century for chess. Absolutely.
It's going to be 100 tie-break games tomorrow.
Carry on. But yeah, absolutely.
Wow,
Knight to b4. Okay, b5. Sorry, yeah.
That's Dink. He likes moving pieces forward when he can do it.
Likes the bishop pair as well. So
I didn't expect that, but interesting.
It makes sense, right? Like there's a big threat now. You're threatening to win a piece. Bishop takes knight, followed by taking this bishop.
Right.
Maybe the knight lands on d6 if the black bishop goes away.
Yeah.
Black bishop, he's got a lot of squares, but
no plans for draw yet.
No, definitely not yet. I think I would take white, I've got to say. Just feels easier to play.
Okay. Well, big decision though. You can step back with the bishop, or you can try to hold on and go e5 and just bolster that piece. That would be another approach. It's decision time for Gukash, as he has to contemplate what to do, sound the retreat or just reinforce the center. Arkady, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
And thank you for your great job as commentators here during the match.
It's been an honor.
It's been a real pleasure and honor actually to be part, even just a little bit of this very special match. So thank you. And thank you, Arkady, and what a match it has been. So there we see that the players are going to get stuck in, and we ended there with the decision, the bishop pair or not the bishop pair. So let's ask our AI assistant from Google Gemini. Tell us more about the advantages of having a bishop pair.
We asked Gemini, what is the bishop pair advantage? Explain it to me using an analogy. Here's Gemini's response. The bishop pair advantage occurs when a player has two bishops controlling opposite colored squares. Imagine a game of tag where two friends chase from different directions to tag you, making escape difficult. Similarly, two bishops can work together to control squares and attack from multiple directions. Chat chess with Gemini, your AI assistant from Google.
Yes, it is an advantage to have the bishop pair, and it's something that Gukash is contemplating right now. What strategy should he take? He's not a man that likes to sound the retreat.
That's right. If you give him an active option, something quite aggressive, something that puts the opponent under pressure, or something that changes the momentum, that forces the opponent to be accurate at least, then he will jump on that opportunity. But for now, he has to react. And the reason we wanted to find out about the bishop pair, Jovanka, is it's very likely actually here that Gukash might be forced to part with one of these two bishops in return for the white knight. You mentioned one option, e5, which makes a lot of sense. This bishop was suffering a bit. It was kind of just watching the game at home. It didn't get a ticket for the World Championship match today, this bishop. So it wants to be let in. But this does come at the cost of an exchange. And just to highlight how strong the bishops could be, for example, if the white bishop jumps out here, say black makes a kind of logical move, white could play, for example, c5, land a bishop on d6, and these two, I'm going to call them beasts along the diagonals. They can control half the board, half the game. And this knight is fine for now, but you could imagine it being kicked away, less stable than it would like to be.
So there's no way back from that decision. You know, piece exchanges are kind of
Irreversible.
irreversible. That's the word I wanted. I was going to say terminal, but that was not the word.
Maybe that too. Long term. And yeah, just to highlight the other issue. Even delays as long as possible, cements this knight in this beautiful outpost. But for example, if the bishop chases it away, even a position like this, because the light square bishop is going to be unchallenged for the rest of the game, I think this is a safe, very stable edge for white.
Yes, and it kind of begs the question. Gukash went into this line very willingly, but it's white here who's having all the trumps. And it's a perfect opening for Ding to push in a risk-free manner for the win.
Right. I mean, right now we don't see any immediate risk for Ding. Maybe for Gukash we see some risk of being worse in the long term.
I mean, if he has to give up the bishop pair in an open position, that's not ideal. If he has to play incredibly dynamically in order to hold the balance, far from ideal either. Can we revisit e5? Because I can see that's Ceci's top choice. I haven't looked beyond that. So knight takes...
It's very Gukash, that type of move. Like you said, no surrender, no retreat. And not necessarily caring about long-term factors if you can back it up with short-term initiative. So, okay, let's take. I assume you'll take with the pawn, Jovanka.
Yeah, to take with the pawn.
Yeah, we could take with the knight, but then, I don't know, this pawn is a bit weak.
You've
The
got
knight's not that stable.
Yeah. And the bishop on c8 hasn't got that ticket.
It's been blocked by the bouncer on g2. It's not allowed into the arena to watch the games. Okay, e takes d4.
E takes d4.
I'll bring my bishop up.
Okay, yeah. And now here, it does feel like black needs to play tremendously aggressively to maintain the balance, because I did not like your c5, bishop to d6 idea. If that arrives on the table, you almost feel like setting up the pieces and going home. Unless you have ideas such as bishop to d6, bishop e6.
At least now, if I play c5, he might.
Then you go bishop to d5 and challenge you. And I will, as black, play around a bishop on d6.
Yeah, for example, bishop d6, the light square bishops probably come off.
e8.
This is nice, but without the light square bishop, I mean, if you have a landed queen on d5, you're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy with the passed pawn. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of an analogy for this bishop. It's like a bouncer standing outside a park that everyone's already inside. It's like, I don't know.
It's like when they say like shutting the door after the horse is bolted.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been really bad with like getting my expressions in the perfect way. How's it go?
I always just mix up my analogies. Yeah, that's one thing I struggle at, Jovanka, just that creativity of like, I don't know, I'm very like literal or very
Yeah, I just,
visual. I struggle with the creative.
I just can't remember them, that's all. And then I get them, my brain goes, let's muddle them up then. like yesterday. Fool me once, shame on me. No, that's not how it goes, Yobby. Apparently I'm in good company. George Bush did it as well.
Nice. Which one? Which George?
Junior.
Okay. In the meantime, yeah, this bishop e6 move I think is very logical actually, and I would play b3.
Yes.
Just to try and keep these pawns blunting this bishop.
Yep. Okay, so
Gukesh is probably looking at a position like this, I've got to say.
this, you can see that as long as you start harassing the light square bishop, black is probably okay.
Yeah. I think I would still take white slightly, but black does have a very strong pass pawn, and the only way to get rid of this one might be at some point to part with your bishop for knight. Even if black goes into an endgame of pawn down, obviously colour bishops should be holdable. So I think this isn't even too risky for Gukesh.
And also, I just want to say, black probably be very comfortable in playing that position of pawn down, because say you did it now, just
for example,
bishop takes knight now.
Yep.
And say you went bishop, queen takes bishop, queen takes pawn.
Let's pretend bishop h3 doesn't win material.
No, but what I'm trying to say is like those light square controls, it's going to be super, super important.
Oh yeah, so many holes around the white king. Suddenly it's like that Swiss cheese is back in action.
Or maybe this is the theme of today's game, Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese.
Be careful about the squares that you concede.
Doesn't look great at all for white. So again, bishops versus knights. That's the beauty of chess, right? That was kind of adds to its complexity. They're worth the same pretty much on average, but they do such vastly different jobs. And yeah, it's the dilemma facing Gukesh right now, whether to play e5 or not. If he wants to keep the bishop pair, he has to choose one of these two squares to drop back to with his dark squared bishop.
Yeah.
But slightly clumsy, both of them.
Hey, I did a lecture just now a few weeks ago on the difference between a knight and a bishop. It's like same, but not the same. Like they have different roles.
Which do you prefer, Ivanka?
Bishops.
Same.
But on the other hand, I do have a fondness for closed positions and for the versatility of the knight. And I had kind of expressions such as when a knight gets to the ideal square, which is for white would be a square on the 6th rank. So yeah, if you get knight to d6, and then knights and both bishops, they both increase in power if they're supported by pawns. It was interesting because I knew about knights, but I never knew that it was actually relevant for bishops as well.
I've never kind of thought of that really. I'm just very happy like chilling with my bishops like from afar, just keeping them behind my own pawns. They're like the snipers, right? You send your infantry forward first, you send the cavalry, and then the bishops just pick off the weaknesses in the opponent's camp later. But yeah, bishops on outposts. So similar to what we discussed in the other variation, if black does defend this type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Bishop f4, put it on d6.
Exactly. That's exactly the whole thing, and especially if you have the bishop on g2 still alive in the game. See, it's like subconscious.
It's subconscious.
But it's something that I noticed. And knights, they're fantastic on the 6th rank. I called them beasts. I don't know.
Knights.
Octo knights in the fifth row for white. Beasts on f6 and d6 and e6. They're killers. And then bishops are speedy monsters. So you always, like you say, David, they can be activated at a moment's notice. They're almost like sleepers, right?
Yeah, exactly. They can hit you when you least expect it with their bow and arrow, just lurking over the fence, just poof.
Game 3 was a case in point because Gukesh was playing with a bishop on g2, and I can't remember what the other bishop was, but they were not great pieces. And then in one move, they managed to weave a mating net around the black king, and that was very impressive. Like Gukesh was really in his element there. But so yeah, this fascinating subject because I often find that people are too willing to make trades without necessarily thinking about the consequences.
Right.
And I include myself in that category.
I think everyone's guilty of it. It's very natural, right? Especially if the clock is ticking down, especially in high pressure matches like this. We seek, subconsciously, that simplification. We just assume that, that the truth will dawn on us if there are fewer pieces on the board, but very rarely is that the case.
By the way, we have to mention there's a big threat on the board for white.
Yes.
Yes. Bishop takes knight is the threat. And
c6. Followed by knight takes bishop. Hence the reason black needs to either move this bishop or back it up with a pawn, protect it.
Sola. Charlie. Sola. Charlie. Sola. Charlie. ठीक हो क्यों हुआ हैं कौन
आप पानी लगाओगे मैं उसको जाके
हाँ गरम डालना कि ठंडा नॉर्मल मतलब उसमें से ठीक है ओह भाई पत्नी का हुआ क्या है ये तो नहीं चुप चुप खड़े हो जरूर कोई बात है काऊ आज हम आपको कहानी पढ़ते हैं ओके मोटा जाओ क्यों पढ़ के कौन सी पंचतंत्र वाली सुनानी है कि वो
देखनी है
इंसल्टेड देखनी है अच्छा मैं दिखाता हूँ आपको इंसल्टेड देखो सबसे ज्यादा इंसल्टेड तब गया
मुझे धीरे धीरे कुछ समझ है
बता रहा है
हर कुछ देंगे आधा कभी भी
कैसा
चिपचिपा वाला समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या है
कोई नहीं थोड़ी देर में मैम से बात करेंगे ठीक है Okay. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. Chicken meal. Last night. घूमने बहुत अच्छा लगा ना, घूमने गए थे हम, घूमने कैसा लगा आपको? अच्छा, घूमने गए थे हम, धूप में कैसे पहले बैठे रहे थोड़ी देर धूप में, तो बाल सूखे हाँ जी ठीक है पापा, ओके कुर्सी लगा दो। ये देखो मिठाई, बोलो बोलो अच्छा चलिए चिक्की खानी चिक्की, अच्छा मिठाई कौन सी अच्छी वाली मिठाई बोलो। बोला मोटे करनी छोटे में रसगुल्ला 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 खाना है हमें कर दो। कितनी बड़ी जो देखते हैं वो पार्टी देखी गैलेक्सी वेगल स्पेशल वो
ऐसे भी
हाँ
टाइम कर रहे थे
बस सकता है सबके नहीं मिला ना कुछ कुछ लोगों को मिला। अच्छा इन लोगों को डाल रखा है क्या नाम उसका ये कर दिया स्वीट ये ना 1 किलोमीटर छोड़ी है
क्या नाम है जगह का
सेक्टर 2 क्रॉसिंग रिपब्लिक बीकानेर स्वीट 1.8 किलोमीटर छोड़ी है
हमारे बगल वाले कहाँ के
जोहम बीकानेर नाम है उसका
हमने का नंबर शुरू कर दिया
कॉल करके बोलूं हैं
वैसे मैं ऑर्डर में ज्यादा सेव कर
चलो ठीक है
हाँ बेबी को क्या हो गया हिल रहा है फिर मैं वहाँ पे रख देता हूँ
क्या हुआ?
2-3 बार लिख दिया आपको। अब घूम के बोल दिया।
बहुत दूर क्वेश्चन बोल रही हूँ ना। सेक्टर 16 में बीकानेर वाले देखें कितना दूर है। अरे भाई इतना दूर। चलो सीधे मंगा दो, कोई बात नहीं। बीकानेर स्वीट्स।
रसगुल्ला लिख दो क्योंकि ऐसे करके वही वाला आ जाए।
हाँ, ये लिखता हूँ। रसगुल्ला।
हमारे पास होगा
मगर स्वीट्स जो पीछे ही है, मगर स्वीट्स
नहीं ये वाला ये बेकार से अच्छा अच्छा।
अग्रवाल, ये रहा बीकानेर स्वीट्स, ठीक है। स्पंज वाली चाहिए, इसको ऐसे दबाते हैं वो। और क्या चाहिए बताओ? 2 गुलाब मिल्क केक, कुट्टू पराठा, ग्लूटेन कलाकंद। कलाकंद की सब्जी मिठाई होती है, ये होती है अच्छी होती है। हाँ ये बर्फी अच्छी होती है। गुलाब जामुन कॉमर्स का है। मलाई चाप, चीनी टोस्ट, बर्फी नहीं बोलो। ये वो दाल मखनी, छोले भटूरे, मटर पनीर।
ये सब भी मिठाई है?
हाँ हाँ।
आपको क्या खाना है?
मुझे ज्यादा नहीं खाना, मैं तो एक बार उसमें देखता हूँ, दूसरी स्वीट से देखता हूँ, ठीक है। एक और स्वीट से भी अच्छा है।
वो जैसा आप मंगवाते हैं
ये है, ये है हमारे पास ड्रिंक बना चल रही है। ये है,
इस वाले में देखो।
ये भी अच्छा है, बादाम स्वीट्स भी अच्छा है। बताओ मेरा इसमें देखता हूँ क्या है। इसमें रसगुल्ला ऐसा वाला है।
इसका अच्छा लग रहा है लेकिन
हाँ
इसका बिल्कुल अच्छा।
छोले भटूरे
खा सकते हो। एक मंगाना तो आधा खा लूंगी, आधा खाना है तो फिर खाओगे तो नहीं तो ठीक है। अब वो पढ़ोगे फिर नीचे हो गई है वो धूल झाड़ी थी उससे। No problem. खा सकते हैं।
प्याजी कचौड़ी खानी है?
अच्छे होते हैं।
ये है आपकी प्याजी कचौड़ी खानी?
इसमें दाल भी खानी है।
राजस्थान की वो स्पेशल डिश है। हाँ डालना है?
आप कमेंट है खाने का?
खा लूँगा, ठीक है। ग्रीन चटनी नहीं, चलो नहीं है।
एक्स्ट्रा
प्याज का सलाद है, सलाद
कैसे सैलेड में मंगाऊं, क्योंकि ना वो हम वहाँ से भी बना लेंगे।
सॉल्ट एक्स्ट्रा, ग्रीन चटनी एक्स्ट्रा, ठीक है। और छोले भटूरे खाने, तो समोसा खाने, ठीक है। समोसा
और मैं एक्स्ट्रा
ऑनियन कचौड़ी एक, समोसा एक, रसगुल्ले।
ऑनियन कचौड़ी एक ही आएगी?
हाँ तो एक चाहिए ना,
क्या खाएंगे?
दो मंगा लेता हूँ फिर।
बयासी का एक
चल
आता है।
हाँ तो भाई कचौड़ी है।
ओह, ऐसा क्या?
दो समोसे दो कचौड़ी, 40 रुपए का एक समोसा आता है।
ओह, कितना महंगा आता है बड़ा वाला?
बड़ा समोसा मंगा दो। रसगुल्ले एक ही मंगाना है, कितने मंगाना है?
एक मतलब एक कैसे होता है?
रसगुल्ला ना, ये जो लिखा है रसगुल्ला ऊपर गया, व्हाइट कलर सॉफ्ट स्पंजी रसगुल्ला एक है। रसगुल्ला कुछ नहीं
ऐसा होता है? कुछ पता ही नहीं। देख लो,
दो कर दूं?
वो आपने बॉक्स में जैसे मंगाया था पिछली बार,
वो तो दूसरी जगह से मंगाया था ना।
अच्छा।
वो दूसरी जगह का रेस्टोरेंट था, मिठास रेस्टोरेंट था।
अच्छा तो
उससे भी मंगा सकता हूँ।
बॉक्स ठीक था ना?
मिठास रेस्टोरेंट से मंगाना है। वो मिठास से था। ये बादामी
अच्छा।
बादामी इधर है। मिठास का देखूं, इसमें 358 हो रहा है इनका।
हाँ, देख।
ठीक है, इसमें अप्लाई करूंगा तो 100 रुपये ऑफ हो गया, 255 हो रहा है। ठीक है, अगर देखो, अगर मैं डालूंगा मिठास, मिठास कैसे है भाई, कैसे नहीं है? ये रहा मिठास, ये रहा 4.3 रेटिंग। ये क्या था? वो और महंगा है।
एक
रसगुल्ला 32 रुपए का एक।
तो
दो
आपने
पीस
कैसे
32 के,
मंगाया था?
2 पीस 32।
अच्छा, ऐसा होता है।
ठीक है, 2 पीसेस। मिठास से मंगा रहे हैं, बादामी से मंगाते हैं। मिठास से ट्राई कर चुके हैं ना, मिठाई से जब अर्चना की तब हमने फिर तो अभी उनसे ट्राई कर लेंगे। ठीक है, 255 कर दो ऑर्डर, ठीक है। 25 से 30 मंगवा करूं, कर दूं? गया ये फिर गया 3146 3146। अरे इसकी बैटरी कम है। क्या खेला उसने? चलो इसको अनम्यूट करता हूँ, इसको अनम्यूट कर दूं? क्या करें?
फोटो देखने का
तुमको फोटो देखने का तुमको देखने का कर दूँ उसको म्यूट तेरा म्यूट
ये आवाज कम है क्या स्ट्रिप ये वापस फिर से स्टार्ट ये तो कोई नहीं तब कितने लगे बंदा है वो को लगे बच्चा
वो बेस्ट
कितना चेंज आया फेस में
किसी को पूरा भी तो कितना स्मॉल कितना ऐसे है
ये तो पूरी मूवी बना दी है
ये वीडियो है ये तो बंद कर
और कहती हूँ मैं कैमरा से थोड़ा भागती हूँ वैसे
आपको अच्छा लगा था
हम ऐसे रिकॉर्ड करके वीडियो बना सकते हैं ना ऐसे सेव कर सकते हैं स्टोरी बना सकते हैं
अरे
ये हार्ड करो हार्ड ये क्या है मेरा हाथ करो ये तो आई थिंक 23 है
नीचे को आ हाँ इधर ले चलो
आधी बिस्किट मैं छोटी सी मूवी कुछ नहीं देती हूँ I think she maybe like get on. I think they very watch. Must be. No, complicated. Wow. ये कहाँ पे बचे? साड़ी लाता वाला सुना नहीं है वाओ मुझे यहाँ जाना है ये कहाँ है वाओ सुंदर कब जाते हैं कैसे जाते हैं उस टाइम पे क्या होता है दीपावली के टाइम पे भीड़ होगी ना उस टाइम पे तो बहुत ऐसे कोई टाइम जब भीड़ ना हो ये क्या हो रहा है कौन पे ये अच्छा ये क्या हो रहा है
हनुमान जी का उधर हो रहा है अखाड़ा ये शिवलिंग है बहुत अच्छा है
ये अच्छी कितने दिन रुके थे
ये बीमार हो गई है आज के दिन राजकुमार से मिलने गए थे एक दिन राजकुमार से मिलने गए थे
तब
हेलो क्या हेलो नंबर अक्टूबर 2022 थे
राजकुमारी
तो लास्ट मिलने गए थे ये टूर जाना था उनको सबको लेके मैं बहुत तरह से मिलने गया तो
राजकुमारी भी है कौन राजकुमारी है
ये भी है
देखो महंगा आपको
लियो
नहीं आवाज कर रहा था उनको एक्सरसाइजिंग की थी ये हम रिकॉर्ड रिकॉर्ड करते मैं दादी की बात करें उल्टा जा रहा है अच्छा ऐसे उल्टा है मैं क्या खा रही हूँ पता अभी उनको बनने गिर मेरा पेट को ready to collect your order आ गया क्या पति arrived at your location बुझेगा मैं फोन कैसे करूंगी एक साथ मूवी देखिए शादी में जरूर आना देखोगे देखोगे मुझे लगा इसी में वो बन जाता है IBS देखोगे हाँ इसी गाने का तो है ठुकरा के मेरा प्यार कैसे करता है इसको फोटो खींचे हमने मेरे मेरा गाना भी खत्म हो गया
अभिषेक को बोल दो
क्या
अभिषेक को बोल दो तैयार है
किसी को
बाबू और अभिषेक को
किस चीज में
एग्जाम में
क्यों बोल रहा है किसी को
अरे वैभव को और अर्पित को बोल मुझे अभिषेक नहीं करना यार
और नहीं आना ना अभी तो ठीक है ना
मस्त ना मैं खुद गोबूट उगरट
जब देखो मैं कान में ऐसे आते सुने तो सुनाने खुद सो के घुट जाने लग जाते ऊपर तो ऐसे पर कर लेते ताकि मैं हिलूं ना बच्चा वो आप मैं हिल नहीं सकती अंदर तो
अभी भाई हमारे भाषा में अनुभव हम सब ना मोहन भाई जोमेटो स्विगी से ऑर्डर
मुश्किल है बड़ी
मेरे को चुना इधर पे पावर में करना है ट्रिक ये क्या दिखा रहे हैं भाई इसमें इसको अनम्यूट करो
Are you ready?
No. Ow, ow, it's pointy on my fingers.
You kind of like dissect it. I'm gonna
Just
take
grab it.
this one.
hello I think that should be all we should end the stream okay we can maybe continue with this one and hello okay why do we have this kind it's a drawn game man ये कभी खेलेगा नहीं
Check.